Good morning, everyone. I am Rick Rathert, the president of Divine Shepherd Lutheran Church and School, as many of you know. It's a beautiful May Day, May 1st, and I have some announcements to share with you and some updates on some things that we have been taking care of during our stay-at-home time due to COVID-19. You'll recall that a few weeks ago I spoke with you about a program called the Paycheck Protection Program. This was sponsored by the Small Business Administration and funded through our local banks, and it allowed us to borrow some funds which would allow us to continue to pay staff during a time when they were unemployed because of COVID-19. Fortunately, and with the help of a local banker, we were able to secure a loan for $44,000. We got in just under the deadline, and the money was approved and put into our bank account. We have not yet used it. This coming Friday of this week, we will be paying the first paychecks out with the Paycheck Protection funds to the teachers of the ECC. This will allow them to feel like they have some cash to live on. When the ECC opens, we will continue to use that money, and we have until June 30th, at which time we will have to report how we use the money and show some documentation that we did it according to those rules, and then we apply for forgiveness of the loan. We anticipate that we should be able to qualify for forgiveness because of the simple operation that we have in terms of just paychecks. We're not going to be paying any rents or mortgages or any outside costs or fees for doing business. So we'll plan to update you on that as time goes on. A recent development that's important for all of you to know is that a member of our congregation, Dennis Mercer, has felt the call to move into the ministry. In doing so, he's talked with Pastor and myself and discussed how that would all work. And we put him in touch with the seminary to explore the special ministry program. The SMP, as it's referred to, was utilized by Pastor Albert Sutton several years ago when he became a pastor and serves at the reservation. Dennis's interest to become a pastor would require that he goes through the typical seminary training. Much of it is here at home. He will have some opportunity to be at the seminary to do some studies. And this program would be specialized in that it would allow Dennis to work at Divine Shepherd Lutheran Church, first as a vicar after he is enrolled in the SMP program, and eventually as an ordained pastor. Dennis would not be available for call to other ministries. We feel that he would be a tremendous asset to our growing congregation. He brings special talents and ministries that we certainly would benefit from, such as music, teaching, education, Bible study, and he would be a definite benefit to add to our staff to allow Pastor Sturzenbecker to do more things that he has interest in as well. What goes with this is an expense, of course, and we have explored the vicar program in the past, and to bring a vicar in here from the seminary for even 1 year would run in the neighborhood of $50,000 to $60,000. Under the SMP program, during the time that Dennis would be at seminary, he would be considered a vicar. He could serve as a vicar here as early as October or November this year. And the cost is part of the tuition of taking the SMP program. The congregation is anticipated to pay 1/4 of the cost. Dennis himself would pay 1/4. The District of South Dakota of LCMS would pay 1/4 of the cost, and the Synod would also pay 1/4 of the cost. That brings the total for Divine Shepherd to about $4,000 to maybe $5,000 per year. The council has considered this and felt that this is a tremendous opportunity for us to grow into a situation that we have been anticipating for some time, which is to have a vicar and eventually another pastor on staff as our congregation continues to grow. The council approved it, and what I am bringing to you today is essentially a request for your approval to support Dennis in his efforts at seminary in the special ministry program. If you have any objections, if you have concerns or questions about this, please contact me. You can email me at dslcchairman@divineshep.org. You can speak with Randy Wombold, our head elder. You can certainly visit with Pastor, and we will consider any concerns or questions that you have. At some point in the next couple of weeks, we would like to make this official and be able to support Dennis fully. And so if you could provide us with any of your input, not later than May 15th, that would be very much appreciated. This is a big step for us, a real opportunity, and we would not want to miss it. On the other hand, we do have an obligation financially, but it would turn out to be a very profitable investment for the church to be able to hire staff on a growing basis over 3 or 4 years. Finally, you should be aware that Russ and Lori Eisenbraun, who have been our custodians at the school and in the church for the last 3 or 4 years, have decided to reduce their workload, and they will continue to serve the school as the custodial staff. The upstairs has become a significant workload, but God continues to bless us in many ways, and we have a new member, Jay Fredericks, whose wife and family and he moved here last fall. Jay, for about 14 years, was the custodian and maintenance supervisor for the large LCMS church in Pierre. After learning that Russ and Lori would like to reduce their workload, I visited with Jay. He is very interested in becoming our custodian and maintenance person at Divine Shepherd, and we brought this recommendation to the council. They approved it, and we have offered the position to Jay to begin maintaining our building. We will have Jay on staff hopefully within the next week, and we will be learning a lot more about how well our church has been maintained, and we'll see some things getting done that we've hoped to have done for some time. Finally, I should tell you that we certainly hope you're all well and staying safe during this semi-quarantine that we have in South Dakota, the stay-at-home, that everybody's feeling good and honoring the requests of our governor. At the same time, we've had a lot of requests from people wanting to open the church and get back to a regular worship schedule. On Monday next week, the elders and I and Pastor will be meeting to consider what our next step is in terms of returning to a somewhat normal worship schedule. We don't know yet what that will look like, but we want you to know that we will be considering that. And like you, we want to get back to a full schedule as soon as possible. That may not happen immediately, but we will start making some changes, and we'll keep you fully apprised of those changes. That's my update and my comments for today. Please respond to the request for concerns, questions, or approval of our initiative to help Dennis in the special ministry program. Thank you.